Hello everybody and welcome to my first impressions of Shovel Knight by the Yacht Club Games. Shovel Knight is a side-scrolling kind of hardcore platformer game, which is actually one that I've been really interested in a very long time because it goes like super heavy on the retro style, guys. Like this one, if we're talking about new games that come out that really feel like they're the classic like golden age of side-scrolling platformers and stuff like that, this is one that, at least in my opinion, really goes all the way back to it. So, as with most games that I show off on the series, what is a better way to go ahead and show off what it's like and how the gameplay works, rather than just jumping into it. One thing I will say, I'm actually going to go ahead and show off the profile that I have been playing on, or at least played on to prepare for this video right here. And of course I'm about an hour in with all those kinds of items and stats and stuff like that. But I just want to say, when you first start off the game, I believe your character only has 4 hit points? It might be 3, but it's no less than 3 if I remember correctly. And we didn't have any items as well, which is that thing on the right. We only had that blue armor and our shovel. Of course, those being our main items to our character. And of course, there's this very Mario-esque kind of map screen right here. I will say that one of the things that I do really like about this game is it takes a ton of influences from a lot of other classic side-scrolling games. The one that I would say that it definitely takes the biggest influence from, which you'll see pretty freaking quickly, is the old DuckTales side-scroller. Mainly in regards to what is at least the main attack that I'll be using is kind of like the bounce or downward strike that our character has with his shovel, which obviously he uses to attack, or Shovel Knight uses to attack. Like, you have 2 basic moves, you have like a basic attack just like that, but that's well, it is fun, but that's nowhere near as fun as it is to go ahead and jump down do a little death from above thing, especially since, once again, similar to the DuckTales game, gives you a lot of vertical when you hit guys, which is part of what makes that attack so fun, at least in my opinion. So, basically, obviously, as these games always go, it's one of those things where, as you're moseying on through the level, you're just trying to survive, kill enemies, beat them up, and one thing that's slightly different is you can collect gold as you mosey along, and here's a checkpoint right here. I'll actually get to a distinct thing about checkpoints in this game, or a small detail about them before too long. But, yeah, all enemies, after the first time you kill them, they'll actually drop, gems, or loot, I suppose, and obviously the gems, can also be seen scattered at, other areas on the map, like that one that's levitating right there, that one that was found in those rocks, and so that's actually a really big part of the game. Oh god, that was awful. Going ahead and actually finding that loot and collecting it and stuff like that, because not only are there shopkeepers and stuff like that who you could go to later on in the game to buy items or prospective upgrades and stuff like that, but there's also a lot of secrets and secret areas that you'll definitely want to look for to either grab that gem, grab all that loot, or maybe find something even better. This is a cool little mechanic in this game, I will say, that I believe was also a thing in the DuckTales game. I never played it, but some items that are on the floor, if you use your shovel, you can actually just go ahead and like knock them up in the air and knock them towards enemies. Just a small little fun thing. And yeah, there are also these little things, these little piles of stones and stuff like that you could grab for loot as you mosey along your journey. Really, it's one of those things where actually, oh god, it's the loot stuff is an aspect of the game that I think is really cool, because it makes the game easier for people who aren't incredibly like who don't prefer hardcore gameplay, so you could actually like farm for loot if you want to get additional health upgrades and stuff like that, or you could just completely ignore that kind of thing and decide to progress on your journey without getting any health upgrades, and so then it doesn't really matter what loot you grab, and yeah, you'll just have to deal with having low health and stuff like that. as we just saw here, I destroyed this wall. That's an example of the many secrets that there are in this game, and one of the most frequent things you'll find are these little, musical, or pieces of sheet music, I should say. And how those work is there's actually a dude in the town that we'll come across later on, who has lost all of his sheet music, and he's super sad because of it, but he actually gives you, some additional cash for helping him if you, return his sheet music to him. So that's one of the cool things about that, and it actually allows you to listen to, if you talk to him, you could actually, like, here's another secret spot. If you talk to him, it'll actually allow you to, oh, we can't get that like that? Holy cow, are we trapped? Oh, no. I totally forgot that you can actually use the shovel when you're bouncing. But, you could actually talk to the dude, and he will allow you to play some music, just for free, or he'll play some music for you. And of course you unlock more music for him to play, the more sheet music you find. But it's obviously a small, not all that important thing to the gameplay, but I think this game has a really freaking good soundtrack. Like, it really actually gets you quite hyped and into the gameplay and stuff like that. So it's actually pretty nice being able to talk to that guy and be like, hello, squire, or musical man, give me some nice little show tunes for me to listen to or something like that. Here's another secret. We're not gonna bother with those too much because obviously I don't want to, in fact, I probably shouldn't even revealed it because I don't want to give too much away. I want to leave stuff for you guys to find. Actually, this is one that I will give away right here, because it shows how detailed some of these secrets probably do get as time goes on. As we could see when we climb up here, there's actually a little room down there. But we try to open that up, we're like, oh, that's an obvious secret, but wait, no! This doesn't bring us upwards. What the fudge is up with that game? You're fooling with me. But actually, if we attack that wall, then we will actually get the little entrance coming up there. I'm sure that's a secret that most people would be able to find out, but obviously it's because the game kind of sets it up that way, which I think is a really cool kind of detail. Like, and that actually brings up another thing that I wanted to mention. The difficulty scaling is very, very good in this game from what I've seen, because this first level in the game does a hell of a lot to teach you the tricks of the trade. Mainly in regards to the secrets. Like, all the secret walls that we could destroy before had one little, like, different colored block. But this one right here was just a solid, plain colored wall. And the only way to really know that it was a secret would to either do some Dark Souls style, just keep on hitting the wall till, or like hit every wall to see if it's an illusion wall. Or go up here, see that, there's a little entrance down there and kind of deduce that you could, get there that way. So yeah, cool stuff like that. And as I was mentioning, there is also the checkpoints. I don't know why you can't do this in the first mission, but from what I've seen in later on missions, if you decide to, you actually can destroy your checkpoint marker, which obviously will mean that if you die afterwards, you won't go back to this point. You'll have to go even farther back. And if you try to go through a whole level with destroying all the checkpoint markers, obviously that would bring you all the way back to the first mission in the game, which is pretty punishing. So that's a nice, cool way to make it even more hardcore if you want. It's like avoiding the checkpoint in Bit Trip Runner 2 for anyone who's played that. And I'm actually gonna die right here. I'm gonna commit suicide because I want to show you guys what happens when you die. When you die, you actually lose a great deal of the portion of your loot. Obviously, you go back to the previous checkpoint you had, and, so yeah, basically that's your penalty. There aren't, I really like it personally. I could see how some people, I should say, first, obviously, there aren't any continues, and that's the big deal with it. Basically, what happens is you drop a bunch of your loot, and the only way to get it back is to just collect it. But sometimes it's actually in like really hard points to get to or get back to if you want to collect it, so you risk actually dying again if you want to retain your previously oh no! Oh, we almost died there. That was almost bad. Should have been more careful. But yeah, you actually risk dying if you want to reclaim your previously gathered loot. So that's a really, really fun mechanic in how that works. Wow, that guy was an idiot. Suicidal skeleton on the loose. One thing I'll say right here, this is actually a good point to say, actually, this is a real nitpick, but one thing I will say, because I've seen this in a lot of side-scrollers that are more recent ones, I really hate it when you're climbing ladders and when you press A to jump, your character just falls. Personally, I prefer it when the character actually jumps off of the ladder. So if I pressed A here, rather than just dropping, I would have, like, jumped up in the air and gone up higher. Obviously, like I said, just a nitpick, really. Not a big complaint in gameplay at all. The only reason why I like it is it just makes going up ladders a lot more of a quicker paced task, so it's allows the game to move a little bit more smoothly. So I kind of wish they did that, but obviously, like I said, that's just a very, very small detail in a game that actually controls really, really well. Like, going back to what I was saying at the beginning of this video, this is an example here, the game shows you by having that dude right there, that this is probably actually going to be a path to the left, which indeed it is, but we're going to avoid gathering whatever may be over there. Because I have gotten it already, and I'll let you guys explore. But what was I just saying? Oh yeah! Oh, shoot! No, I've seen this secret before. This is, giving you some health. Kind of a Castlevania-style thing, like the classic ones. They usually, give you a nice little secret spot where health is right before the boss, which is always obviously nice. But yeah, this game controls really well. That the smoothness of the controls is one of the things that really makes it feel so much like a classic kind of side-scrolling hardcore game, you know? Or retro game, I should say. Like one of the ones, an example that I'll say, and I should say first, I'm going to use 1000 Spikes as an example here, but I love 1000 Spikes. I thought 1000 Spikes is really cool, and it certainly did go for that really old retro style, but that was a game that never really felt retro to me. This is one that really does feel like it all the way to the core, and in all honesty, I think that that's really the point that I would really like to hone in with this video right here. If you're a big fan of the classics, then I think you are, like the classics from like the SNES era, then I think you are going to be a really big fan of this game. If you're not, and you just really like, want to play a really fun, challenging game, especially if it's a platformer, then I think it's really right up your alley as well. It's funny because I don't really have much of anything negative to say about Shovel Knight. It's a game that I think is really, really polished and really well done. So here's the first boss in the game. Of course, I get hit by him immediately. And once again, the bosses are also very well designed too, which is cool. Because I've only fought 2 of them in the game so far, so I don't know if this is going to be the case for all of them, but the 2 bosses that I've fought right now are both very, very challenging the first time you play them, but like how personally I love my bosses, they're all obviously pattern-based, and it's one of those things where it's not as... Obviously, practice is a lot that goes into it, but the biggest part of beating the boss is actually learning his patterns and getting the hang of them. Like, for this guy, he's got 3 basic moves. He either comes at you and tries to shovel you, which is a good time to either hit him, but you'll probably get hit if you try to hit him while, because he'll probably hit you back, or you'll have to counter him, like he does there. The other one is that purple shot, and then the other, which you could just easily jump over and then hit him, and then the last one is this him jumping in the air thing. So I want him to do the jumping in the air thing one more time, so I could show off like the nice, there we go, the nice counter for that. I totally failed it! That was awful! I'm doing really bad right now, apparently. But I will say, for the most part there, I was just kind of waiting for him to do his moves so I could hit him, but come on, do the jumping in the air thing. Okay, here we go. I'd like to just, like, stand a little bit to the side! Apparently I'm awful at video games. But I like to just stand a little bit to the side of him when he does that, and, so then once he drops down, you could get a quick little swipe in his face and beat him up in that regards. But yeah! It took a lot more damage than I should have there, but, I will say, for my, personal pride, I think a lot of that is just simply due to, the fact that I was talking about, how the boss mechanics work and trying to, wait for a chance again to do that pattern and attack him in that. So as I mentioned, there is a town in the game, and of course, along with that, there comes a lot of upgrade systems and stuff like that. Here's that squire dude, right, like that I mentioned before, or loot player, or whatever that thing is. If you talk to him, he'll give you money for finding him music. There's this awesome guy here. This is my favorite character in the game, the Goatician. I really like him. Basically, he's a poor guy. He can't decide if he wants. He's a poor, unfortunate soul because he's stuck in an endless dilemma in his life, trying to decide whether or not he wants to buy a health upgrade, a mana upgrade, or of course just eat tin cans for the rest of his life. And so he's basically the guy who sells you meal tickets, which cost quite a pretty penny, but not all that much for their value, of course. And then you could use those to either go ahead and upgrade your health or upgrade your mana. I've already upgraded my health quite a bit, so let's actually go ahead and wait, what is this? Boost your maximum magic by 100. I mean, by 10 points, not 100. Really? Wait, so does she not take a meal ticket, or is it extra cash on top of that? Maybe actually, I guess you don't need a meal. One more use out of your relic, so yes, of course, I can increase your maximum magic. Oh, never mind. I guess you only use the meal tickets for this guy? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm a weird guy. Yeah, apparently. Yeah, he's making a meal for us right now. Well, that's interesting. Apparently, I misunderstood that. But then there's also, a couple of other, like, secret things in the town. There's some extra people down bottom that we could visit. One of them may be hidden. Of course, that's not the hardest thing to find, though, so I'm sure that most of you would. Let's, play a little circle, I don't know, hoop with this girl. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't know what that game is called when you just bounce that thing around. But yeah, also, like I said before, there is magic in this game. I didn't use any in the level like I probably should have. But it uses, those little potion-based things that you gather from killing enemies. So, they're pretty easy to gather. I think you only get one magic for each one of them, though. So you have to be pretty careful with, how you use your mana. And how you use your spells is to just push up and then the attack button, to do the ability. It actually works pretty well. At first I was like, that's a little bit awkward, wish it could have just been a standard own button, but it actually works, really well in the gameplay, like I was saying. You also have a couple of different spells that you could use on top of that. There we go, yeah. I got this item, which will allow me to refill health and magic once in every level, and then there's also this, bounding orb or something like that. I'm not a big fan of that thing. I think that thing's kind of weird. I prefer the, fiery wand, but yeah! So anyways, like I was saying, this is a game that I'm really, really fond of. It's a really great, solid platformer from what I've played so far. The gameplay is really good. The difficulty scaling seems really good as well, because it does a great job of teaching you the mechanics of the game rather early on, and then it also does start ramping up the difficulty in a fair but rapid manner as well, for sure. And yeah, like, I didn't talk about the graphics, but I really like the graphics. The story is just one of those kind of, like, you know, basic hero, save the damsel stories, from what I've seen so far, but, you know, these games aren't, based on their story. They're more based on the gameplay and stuff like that, so it doesn't matter all that much. Despite this game mechanic with, how you attack most enemies has been seen before, of course, like I said, the DuckTales game, it is still very unique and very, very fun, and stuff like that. So yeah! As always, I will put a link in the description below where you could, pick up Shovel Knight on Steam if you wish to do so. And, it is actually going for $15 on Steam currently, which I think is 100% a perfectly fair price. Granted, I actually don't know how long, this game is, but, the replay value, I think, is really, really, is gonna be really, really strong for this one, especially if you want to create additional challenges by, like, trying to play maybe without getting any health upgrades or something like that, or maybe not using any magic and stuff, or speedrunning. Speedrunning would be really good for this type of game. But also, in addition to that, I got a feeling it may not be really long, but I think there's gonna be like definitely $15 worth in the game, if nothing else. But anyways, I think that's gonna be it for this video. Like I said, I will put a link in the description below to where you can pick up Shovel Knight on Steam. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one.